Big changes are coming to Germany's refugee and asylum laws in 2026. And if you or someone you know is affected, you need to understand what's happening. Germany is overhauling its system, driven by new European Union rules and a domestic push for stricter migration control. So, let's break down exactly what this means, piece by piece. The single biggest shift is the nationwide implementation of the Common European Asylum System, or CEAS, which goes into full effect on June 12, 2026. This isn't just a minor tweak. It's a fundamental change in how asylum applications are handled across the entire EU, including Germany. One of the most significant parts of CEAS is the introduction of mandatory border procedures. What does this mean? For asylum seekers who arrive at Germany's borders and are deemed to have a low chance of success, their applications will be processed in an accelerated and potentially restrictive manner. This could even involve detention at facilities near the border while a decision is made. The goal is to quickly process applications from countries with a high recognition rate and filter out those with a lower probability of being granted protection. Alongside this, the safe third country rule is being reinforced. If an applicant has traveled through a country outside the EU that is considered safe, their asylum application in Germany can be declared inadmissible. This puts a huge emphasis on the route a person takes to get to Europe. The idea is that protection should have been sought in the first safe country they entered. This will likely lead to more complex legal challenges about which countries are truly safe and what constitutes a meaningful connection to that country. Now, let us talk about something that affects those already in Germany and hoping to build a future here: citizenship. The rules for naturalization are getting stricter. You might remember hearing about a fast-track path to citizenship after just 3 years for particularly well-integrated individuals. Well, that option was abolished in late 2025. As of 2026, the standard path is now the primary one. Generally, refugees and other migrants will need to have resided in Germany for at least 5 years before they can even apply for citizenship. This is a significant lengthening of the timeline for many people aiming to become German citizens. There are also important changes for those trying to bring their families to Germany. A major development is the suspension of family reunification for individuals granted subsidiary protection. This isn't full refugee status, but a step below, granted when a person doesn't qualify as a refugee, but still faces serious harm if returned to their home country. Starting in July 2025, the right for these individuals to bring their family members to Germany was suspended for 2 years. However, there is some different news for one specific group: refugees from Ukraine. If you fled the war in Ukraine and have a temporary protection residence permit in Germany that is valid on February 1st, 2026, your permit will be automatically extended until March 4th, 2027. This provides a degree of certainty and stability for the many Ukrainians who have sought safety in Germany, allowing them to continue living, working, and studying without having to go through a complex renewal process during that period. The changes don't stop at legal status. They also affect daily life and financial support. The government has adjusted the benefits provided to asylum seekers. For anyone arriving after April 1st, 2025, the monthly benefits are now set at a reduced rate of €441. This is a lower amount compared to the standard welfare benefits that German citizens or long-term residents might receive. The policy is part of a broader effort to manage the costs associated with the asylum system and potentially reduce the financial incentives for seeking asylum in Germany. Another area seeing a major policy shift is employment. For third country nationals coming to Germany for work, there's a new rule that kicked in on January 1st, 2026. Under the Residence Act, employers are now legally required to inform their new international hires about their right to access labor and social law counseling. This must be done on their very first day of work. This is a positive step designed to protect foreign workers, ensuring they are aware of their rights and know where to turn for help if they face exploitation or have questions about German labor laws. It's a measure aimed at preventing precarious working conditions. The government is also taking a harder line on deportation, particularly for individuals who have committed serious crimes. New laws have been enacted that allow for the permanent detention of serious criminal offenders while they are awaiting deportation. This is a significant move, especially because it includes the possibility of deportations to countries that were previously considered too unsafe for returns, such as Afghanistan and Syria. This policy is highly controversial and signals a major shift in balancing security concerns with humanitarian principles. The legal and practical challenges of deporting people to these countries remain immense, but the government's intent is clear. Finally, there's an interesting, albeit temporary, change regarding the Dublin regulation. This is the EU rule that says the first EU country an asylum seeker enters is responsible for their claim. For years, Germany has been returning people to other EU countries, like Greece, under this rule. However, an informal agreement was made to pause these returns to Greece. This suspension will last until June 12, 2026. Why that specific date? Because that's when the new EU solidarity mechanism, part of the CEA's reform, is set to begin. This new mechanism is designed to create a more balanced system for sharing responsibility for asylum seekers across all EU member states, hopefully easing the pressure on frontline countries like Greece and Italy. So as you can see, 2026 marks a pivotal year. We're seeing a dual movement. On one hand, stricter controls, faster procedures at the border, and tougher requirements for staying long-term. On the other hand, there are targeted measures like the automatic extension for Ukrainians and new protections for foreign workers. Navigating this new landscape will be challenging. The rules are becoming more complex and the stakes are higher than ever. It's crucial to seek qualified legal advice if any of these changes affect you. Staying informed is the first and most important step. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow for more updates on this and other important legal changes.